Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to the series of podcast Roadmap for Acing SSCE 24-25 examination. As we know that the board exams are round the corner and all of us would like to know how to attempt mathematics paper. Today, I am delighted to introduce to you one of the senior most math faculty member, Ms. Sirisha Chittur, HOD Math, DPS Bangalore East, who has almost 14 years of teaching experience. She will be sharing best preparation tips, do's and don'ts for CBSE Class 12 Math examination. Ma'am, as you know that this is the time when there is a lot of anxiety and stress among the students. Sometimes they are unable to utilize this time or have trouble recalling the information and sometimes even forget the math concept. So, what would you like to suggest to the students regarding these issues? Why does it happen with most of the students and how can they overcome it?
Good morning, all. Thank you, Deepthi. Yeah, handling the anxiety, very important. I want my students to be very calm. I know it's very hard. I wanted you to start doing that means written practice is very important, necessary. That anxiety will go if you start writing and then practicing. If you do oral work, then automatically the anxiety will come. With right approach, you can tackle the board exams with confidence. Be hydrated, do meditation, sleep on time. Active mindset is necessary during the exams. Thank you, Deepthi.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, class 12th math board exam requires a multifaceted approach that combines understanding concepts and practicing problems. So, could you enlighten us with some tips to attempt the paper?
Yeah, question paper attempting is very important. When you're reading the question paper, you have to see how the questions are framed, what are the numbers given, copy that question properly, avoid common mistakes. Don't write lengthy answers for 1 mark question, 2 mark questions. For 1 mark, it's only options are necessary A, B, C, D. Okay, or the left side of your margin. Okay, now stick to NCRT proofs for theorems you're writing. One impactful tip what I wanted to give to my students is start your paper with questions that you are most confident in. It boosts your morale, sets up the positive tone. The rest of the exam will go very fast, smoothly actually. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable inputs. As everyone is aware, the students are given 15 minutes to read. So, could you thus advise us on how the student should make the most of this time?
Yes, reading time. You have to use it very effectively. Strategy is important. Quickly skim through the entire paper. Identify the questions you are most confident about. And the reading time mostly when you have internal choices. You have to go through the internal choices, decide which one you wanted to attempt. Anyway, I will talk about the sections which you have to start and then do it with the timer. But if you see 2 mark questions, there are two internal choices. So skim through that. You can decide which one to be select, which one you have to select. Three internal choices for 3 mark questions, again two internal choices for 5 mark questions. There is no internal choice for case-based study because it will be in the question. So I am talking about internal choice, choosing, and also start doing mentally 1 mark questions. Don't touch according to CBSE rules. The writing part, that means you should not start writing during the reading time. So you have to be little careful. Do mentally see how much you can solve if you have finished choosing internal choices. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think now they will be able to utilize their reading time efficiently. Ma'am, sometimes when the students are confronted with a difficult question, they waste a lot of time struggling with these. What is your advice to the students?
Yes, even everybody does that. Whenever you think you are writing for more than 8 minutes, that means you are wasting time on a single question. Don't strike that. Stop there itself. Go to the next question. Fresh ones. You can always come back. Why I told you not to strike is even if you left it, Nothing will go wrong. They will give marks. Step marking is there in CBSE. Okay, don't strike. Okay, highlight the answers. Those are anyway will come. So when it comes to difficult questions, if you are stuck, leave it. Come back to it at the end. Okay, at the same time, don't strike the questions you have attempted. Step marking is will you will get it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. In my opinion, this is the best guidance they can get. Moving on to the next question, ma'am. We frequently hear that the student find the math paper lengthy and they are not able to complete the paper on time. So how would you advise the student to manage their time wisely?
Now, everybody should take the pen. If at all whoever is watching this, I wanted you to keep the timer. So I always wanted you to start with section D, that is 5 mark questions. Each, okay, there are 4 5 mark questions, and you are going to allot 45 minutes. And then after section 5 mark questions, that is section D, you are going to take section C, 3 mark questions, that is 30 minutes. But, and then going to go to case-based study, third, that is 30 minutes. Again, section B, 15 minutes. You know, we have already finished 2 hours if you have done. Then, if at all, if I advise this to my students, you don't have to calculate this timing during the examination. That means it's very important to know. Section D, you are going to start. That is 5 mark questions. 10:30 is the writing time. 10:30 to 11:15. Please note down 11:15. In the examination time, you should not check what time to be section D, half an hour, or when is it going to come, nothing. 10:30 to 11:15, section D, 5 marks should be over. 11:15 to 11:45, half an hour, 3 marks should be over. 11:45 to 12:15, case-based study, 12:15. 12:15 to 12:30, 2 mark questions. Okay, 15 minutes. 12:30, that means 2 hours exactly over. You are left with 1 hour. That means you're going to start with MCQ, section A. In that 1 hour, 45 minutes, you're going to do section A. 15 minutes recheck time. I hope it will be very helpful. This is how you will not skip or any questions, and you will finish the question paper on time. I'm not giving you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. No, you are going to do section D, 10:30 to 11:15. This is what you have to note down. 11:15 to 11:45, C section. 11:45 to 12:15, E. 12:15 to 12:30, B section. 12:30, you will start with A and then recheck that. Thank you.
That's really wonderful, ma'am. I'm sure this advice will help them to finish the paper on time. Ma'am, graph questions are also included in the mathematics exam paper. So could you provide us some pointers on how to approach these questions?
Yeah, of course. Graph is the only questions which will fetch me marks. I start with AOI. In your question paper, 2 graphs will be provided. You don't tear the graph and stick somewhere else. Okay, you should not tamper the answer sheet, please. There will be 40 papers in your answer sheet, and 2 graphs will be at the end or in the between. You don't care about it. So you will be attempting the AOI, application of integration. If all the students should be well prepared, that's how I trained you. Now, write the question wherever you are actually in the sequential order. Graph, you have to do it in the graph paper. Okay, you don't have to see wherever you are doing the question, you don't need to do the graph there itself. Okay, and one more graph sheet should be used for LPP, linear programming problems. Okay, when you are doing it, carefully do it. That's how I told you, draw the graph, put the corner points, mark it with fractions, no decimals, shade it properly. Okay, those are the very important things which I wanted. So graph paper should be used for AOI and LPP. Now, when it comes to figures, I don't consider it as a graph. Figures, draw the figures, rough figures. Where is it required? AOD, application of derivatives, and 3D vectors. The moment you do those things, when you're solving the questions, it goes smoothly. So rough figures for 3D vectors, AOD, application of derivatives. I hope this will be helpful to you. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. These pointers will surely help them. As math exam falls in between other papers, there are very few days for final preparation. kindly share some tips on how to make the most of the time and revise efficiently.
True. I was True. I was actually working out on it. Okay. Some tips to revise efficiently. See, when we have calculated for science students, you're getting 8 days before math exams. Now, how to utilize that 8 days is the planning. So for me, for the 8 days, at least 3 chapters per day. 2 chapters according to your actually level or the mindset. Okay. 14 days for commerce students. Think about it. They can revise totally everything. Okay, so each day one chapter also you can finish because you have 13 chapters, so properly. But you start with miscellaneous questions. All the miscellaneous should be solved. Really, do you have time? Ample of time. But there are few students who are getting only 5 days. For them, mandatory to do 3 chapters per day. Okay, now you have to solve the examples in your NCRT, then only reference and previous year questions. Very important. Write the formulas. Every day you are writing all the formulas and then doing the theorems as per NCRT. You are not doing your own theorems, inventing things in the exam hall or in the paper. Okay. This is how actually it will help. But how do you do it? Yeah, whatever you know, known from unknown you come. Don't start with unknown. Again, we may actually waste time in learning. So whatever you know, revise it properly. Okay, that means whatever you're strong in the chapters, take it in the beginning and then go on doing it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So moving on to the last question, CBSE has released some instructions on how to attempt questions in exam. So could you shed some light on it?
Absolutely. Where you may read, you may not read the uh, given pointers in your answer key. There will be left margin. You have to start your questions, either MCQ or any questions, only in the left margin. You cannot start in between. Question 1, again question 2 in between, again question 3, question 4. No. Whatever is written, whatever questions are attempted in the margin, that means only those will be evaluated. Not in the corners, not in the middle of the page. You cannot start a fresh question. At the same time, draw a margin at the right side for the rough work. You cannot do the rough work at the end of the question paper answer sheet. Okay, so you have to do the rough work wherever the questions are being given. Okay, you already have the left margin, so use it properly. Okay, cannot make mistakes where you can score. That means what is that? Whenever you have, there are few chapters which we have prepared you are strong in. Don't make those mistakes like AOI, LPP, AOD, determinants. Got it? So that will really help. And don't strike too much, don't scribble. Just draw one line, strike it. If you want to cut it down, doesn't matter anything, because it's a mathematics. So when whatever you write, cleanly you write, box the answers. Okay, and highlight it wherever you wanted to highlight. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable inputs to build up students' confidence. I'm sure with your productive guidance, they will definitely ace math examination.
Thank you, Deepika, ma'am, for the important questions. Hope it will be helpful for our students. Wishing you all the best for upcoming exams. Thank you. Bye.